First of all, please scan the barcode to get my slides. Let's start first with this question. Do higher taxes on sugary drinks like Pepsi, Sprite, or Coca-Cola reduce the demand of these drinks among people? In another word, if the price of Pepsi or Sprite rises from 200 paisa to 400, you will consume more or less, you will buy more or less. Logically, when the prices rises, people they used to reduce the consumption or they will buy less. So this is our topic today. I will talk about demand. And in demand, there are three important aspects I will talk about: demand and law of demand, individual and market demand, change and shift in demand with the determinants. So let's talk with first about demand. What is demand? Can we consider the willingness to buy a car as a demand? You have the willingness. If you have enough money or not, it's another question. Okay. Assume you have money. Consider that you have the ability to buy a car. I mean, you have enough money to buy it, but you don't like cars. Can I consider this as a demand? From those two simple questions, we can derive the definition of demand. Demand indicates how much a product consumers are both willing and able. They have two conditions: willingness and ability to buy at each possible price during a certain period, a given period. And ceteris paribus. What that means is that all other variables like income, taste, other alternative prices are the same, no change. So I have two conditions for demand: willingness, you like it, you want it, and also ability, you have enough money to buy it. So if you have those both conditions, we can consider this as demand. What is the law of demand? From this demand schedule, you can see when the prices falls from 15 to 12, 9, 6, and 3, the quantity demanded rises to 14, 20, 26, 32. The prices are falling down and the quantity demanded rises up. So what is the relation? Is it positive or negative? That's right, it's negative. When the price is going down, the quantity demanded going up. If I plot the points together and reach them together, we can see this demand curve for pizza, for example. It's falling, the slope is falling down. So I have now another question. What are the major causes of downward sloping demand curves? Why this demand is sloping down? Why is going down? Why this curve, the slope of this curve going down? In fact, there are three main causes for this negative slope. Number one, substitution effect. Number two, income effect. And also the third one is diminishing marginal utility law. What's the meaning of substitution effect? Substitution effect, consumers will switch to cheaper alternatives when the price rises. For example, if I'm talking about the milk market, if the price of tea rises, becomes expensive, people they will consume milk more. I mean, when the tea is expensive, they will shift to another product, alternative product like milk. So they will buy more units of milk, more bottles of milk, and this is called substitution effect. Income effect. Here I have two things. money income and real income. Money income, how much you get money in terms of, riyals or dollars. But real income, how many goods and services you can buy by the salary. So if for any reason the price of your product, your commodity, like tea market, for example, if the price of tea becomes less, you can buy more units of tea. That means the purchasing power for you has increased. You have the same salary, the same income, but you can buy more units of tea. Why? Because the price of tea becomes cheaper or less. Now, diminishing marginal utility. The law of diminishing marginal utility states that all else equal means as consumption increases, the marginal utility derived from each additional unit declines. For example, if you start by drinking milk, for example, you get five units. The second unit will give you less than 5, for example, 3, and the third perhaps will give you 1. The fourth unit, perhaps there is no need to drink at all, because you will get 0. If you insist to get 5 bottles, perhaps it will be negative. Your stomach will hurt you, or you need to go to clinic, for example. So the first unit you consume it, you get 5. The second, less, is 3. And the third, less utility, is 1. And the fourth one, it's up to you. You can consume it or not. You can drink or not, because it's the same. No utility at all. But the last one, number 5 unit, when you drink it, you have pain now. Perhaps you need to go to clinic or to hospital. So this is negative. So start first with positive, for example, 5 minutes, and then 5, 2, and still 2, and then it comes negative, etc. So this is called diminishing marginal utility. So there are 3 main causes that can make the slope of demand negative slope or declining downward slope: substitution effect, income effect, and the law of diminishing marginal utility. The second topic, how can we derive the market demand? The market demand is the total demand of individuals. Assume I have in the market 3 consumers, Ahmed, Muna, and Ali. When we check the individual demand for Ahmed, at the price 4, his demand is 3. At the price 8, he will consume 2 units of pizza. When the price is 12 USD dollars, he will consume only 1. For Muna, at the price 4, she will consume only 2 units of pizza. At the price 8, she will consume only 1. When the price is 12, no consumption for her at all. For Ali, when the price is 4, he will consume only 1 pizza, and he will not buy any pizza if the price is more than 4. Now, let's derive the market demand of pizza. At the price 4, you can see Ahmed 3 units, 3 pizzas, Muna 2, 3 plus 2 is 5, and Ali 1, 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6. So 3 plus 2 plus 1, how much? 6. So at the price for the market demand of pizza is 6. Let's go again at price 8. At the price 8, Ahmed will consume 2 and Muna 1. And there is no consumption for Ali. So 2 plus 1, how much? 2 plus 1, how much? 3. So at the price 8, I have 3 pizzas. Let's go to the price 8. 12. At the price 12, Ahmed will buy only 1. But Muna and Ali, they will not consume at all. So the market demand at the price 12 is 1. Plot the points together and reach them. So this is, we call it market demand for pizza. So This market demand for pizza is the demand of Ahmed, Muna, and Ali. I mean, the total demand or the aggregate demand is the total demand of individuals for Ahmed, Muna, and Ali. Now, the third aspect that I want to talk about, movements along and shifts in the demand curve. Change in the price of the commodity itself. For example, I'm talking about the market of milk. If the price of milk rises or falls, going up or down, the movement will be along the curve. I mean, the movement, it will be from point to point, to point on the same curve. If the price rises to 12, I'll consume less, 1. If the price is going down, 4, I'll consume more, 6. So the movement, it will be along the D curve itself. And the main reason for this movement is the change in the price of the commodity or the good itself. If I'm talking about the milk market, the change is because of the rises or falls in the milk market, in the milk itself. If I'm talking about the pizza market, this movement, it will come because of the rises or falls in the price of pizza only. So it's a change on the demand itself from point to another, but on the same demand, on the same curve. طيب. Now, what about change in other determinants of demand, like income, taste, the price of alternatives, number of population, number of consumers. Here, any change in the other determinants except the price will shift the D curve either to the left or to the right. To the left, to the right, we call it rightward shift if there's an increase in demand, like number of population rises, like you like something, and people they like something, so the demand will increase for the normal good. And any decrease in the demand will shift to the left side, we call it leftward shift, as I explained here. See, if, for example, if there's a change in the price of substitution goods, the demand will go either to the right or to the left, depends on the change in the price of the other determinants. For example, if I'm talking about the market, the milk market, if the price of, for example, coffee rises, people will consume more units of milk because coffee is expensive, so they want to increase their demand on milk. Milk is cheaper than coffee, so it's better to consume more units of milk. So it will be rightward shift, rightward to the right. I mean, the quantity demanded will be more shift to the right. And if there's, a shift to the left side, downward, for example, if the price of substitutes is going down. For example, I'm talking about the milk market, and the price of tea becomes cheaper. So people, they prefer to buy more units of tea rather than milk. So it will go to the left. We call it downward shift. So if I shift from A to B, this is, we call it shift. But from A to C, it's a change from point to another on the same demand. From A to C, the main reason of this change is the price of the good or commodity itself. From A to B, this is called shift in the demand, either to the right or to the left. From A to B is shift. And the main reason of this shift, the other determinants of demand. What are they? Number 1, alternative goods. PC and PS. PC means the price of complementary goods, like tea and sugar, car and tire. You need to buy the car with tire, or you need to drink tea with sugar. Most of people, they prefer to buy tea with sugar. If the price of sugar rises, they will reduce the quantity of tea because they need to buy both tea and sugar. They are complements. Substitution goods, like what? PC, substitution goods. like tea and coffee. If the price of tea rises, people they prefer to buy more coffee because coffee is cheaper than tea for them. Uh, um, Number of people or population rises. Here we are talking about two types of goods: inferior and normal. If I'm talking about normal market, normal good, normal commodity like tea, coffee, milk, whatever, pizza. This is normal goods. So here, if the number of population rises, the demand will shift to the right. If number of population falls, it will go to the left. I means positive relationship. But inferior that like for example, like what? Like used clothes. When you become rich, your demand on the used clothes will be less. It's opposite, negative relationship. Other determinants also your income. If your income rises, for normal goods, positive, inferior goods, falls. Distribution of income. If most of the income goes to poor people and any increase in their salary will go to consumption, they want to buy more and more units of, they didn't have enough consumption for important goods. So the necessary goods that they need, they will increase their demand on it. So any increase in the income of poor people, most of it will go for consumption. They will increase their demand. But rich people, I mean, the main things and the necessary things, they have it already. So any increase will go to save. So they put it in the banks, save their money. Expectations. For example, if I expect the price of tea will increase next week from 1 riyal to 5 riyal, what will happen to the demand today on tea? Because I think in the future the price of tea will rise, I will buy more units, I'll buy more quantity of tea from the market today, and the demand will increase, and vice versa. If they told me, for any reason, the eggs will be cheaper, they are exporting a lot of eggs from outside, and it will be cheaper than 2 riyal, it will be 1 riyal, for example, I will reduce my consumption, my demand nowadays, and when after 1 week or 2 weeks will be cheaper, I will buy more. I will buy more, and this is we call it expectations. So other determinants of demand, the main those determinants: price of substitution, positive relationship; price of complementary goods, negative; income for normal goods is positive, for inferior goods negative; the distribution of income for poor people positive, for rich people no change. Expectations depends on, if I expect the prices will rise in the future, I will buy more today. If I expect the prices will be less in the future, I will reduce my consumption nowadays. Taste: if you like something, you will buy more. If you don't like it, you will buy less. You buy less. Now, let's practice about this. How will the market demand care for a tea market shift? Left, right, or no shift in each of the following cases. I'm talking about the market of tea market. If the price of a coffee rises, and coffee is a substitution good, I mean you can substitute coffee instead of tea. If the price of coffee rises, what will happen? The relation between tea and coffee is positive. So the rise, if the price of coffee rises, you will buy more units of tea. So going to the right, shift to the right. I'm not talking about the price of tea market of the tea itself. So I'm talking about the determinants. And we call this coffee is substitution commodity. So the relation is positive. Positive mean rises go to the right, falls go to the left. So rises go to the right. Number of population falls. The tea is a normal good, not inferior. Normal tea, coffee, pizza, they are normal goods. So if the population falls, and relation is positive for normal goods. If the population falls down, going down, so the demand will shift to the left. That's right. Tastes shift away from tea. You don't like tea. If people they don't like tea, for example, so you will buy more or less. Of course, absolutely less. So a shift left. If you like it, you will buy more, right? If you don't like, you will buy less, left. Now I'm talking about the price of sugar. What is the relation between sugar and tea? They are complement. Complementary goods, I have negative relationship between them. If the price of sugar rises, what will happen to the demand of tea? Will be less because you need to buy tea and sugar both in the same time. Most people they prefer to drink tea with sugar. It's look like the tea becomes more expensive for you because you need tea with sugar and the sugar price rises. So rises and the relation is negative means going down. Shift to the left. Shift to the left. They become tea becomes more cheap. I'm now talking about the price. I'm talking about the price of tea itself. I'm talking about the price of tea. So it will be the change will be from point to another point on the curve itself. Means no shift. Now, how will the market demand curve for milk market shift? Left, right, no shift. Now, my market now is the milk market. So, when the income of poor people rises, poor people, any increase in their salary will go for consumptions. And the relation with this market, normal goods is positive. So rise means go up. Choose right. If the income of rich people rises, rich people in general, most of the people they will not go to consume more units of milk because they already have enough money to buy it. It's either no shift, no change, or they will go a little bit, very bit small change in the left. So I prefer to choose no shift. There's no any change in their consumptions. Why? Why there's no change in the consumption of rich people? They have enough money to buy milk, tea, sugar, whatever. So any increase in their money will go for saving. They put in the banks. They will save it there. So I will go with this option. No shift, no change at all. Consumers expecting the price of milk will rise. Milk is a normal good, a normal commodity. If you expect the price will go up in the future, consumer expect the price of milk will rise. What will happen to your demand now? You will consume today more or less. They told you next week, for example, the milk will be from 1 real to 10 real. What will happen to you? You will go to the Lulu or Carrefour and you will buy more units of milk. 5, 6, 10 units. Why? Because in the future it will be more expensive and now it's cheap. So it shift to the right because the relation is positive. The price of milk falls. I'm talking about the milk market and the price of milk. So it will be a change from point to another on the same curve demand means no shift. There's no shift, but it will change from point to another. I mean, your quantity demanded will rise, but the change will be from point to another point on the same curve. And the same, if I'm talking about inferior good like used clothes. Here, the relation between income and inferior is negative. So, if the income rises, I will reduce less. Less means left. If the purchasing power of people falls, and it's the same, it's like income, I'll go up. I'll write more because I don't have enough money to buy. So it's better to buy used clothes rather than a new clothes. New clothes is expensive a little bit. So I will focus on cheap products. Cheap products. Let's talk about COVID-19 pandemic. What do you think? happened to the following during COVID-19 pandemic? The demand of daily food products. If you remember, what will happen to the daily food products? Yes, that's right. The demand of daily food products has increased. Why? Because of the fear they have it. I mean, the people, most of the people, they have the fear of this pandemic, and there is not enough food in the stores. What about the demand of petrol? What do you think happened to the demand of petrol during COVID-19 pandemic? Yes, because of the lockdown. I mean, cars not go here and there. Even the flights has stopped. So the demand of petrol um, becomes less and less. I mean, decreasing, going down. Um, uh, Till here is enough. I think because I finished more than 10 minutes as you asked me to talk. So inshallah, I'll finish my class later about the history of demand. Um, uh, I put my slides here. You can scan it. And the homework, you can scan the homework. Just please use this barcode to finish the homework. Scan it and send it to me. Thank you so much for attending my class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.